All right, so this is an article written by Chris Citizat, CNN editor-at-large, the winners and losers of the sixth Democratic debate. So in this article, this is actually very timely and very insightful. So the winners are Amy Klobuchar, Joe Biden, Andrew Yang, and okay, he thinks Mel Pete is also a winner. I don't agree, but let's see what he has to say. Okay, so again, you see, people have a lot of disagreement about this debate, but the consensus is that Andrew Yang is an apparent winner. Okay, Amy. So the Minnesota senator benefited most from the smaller number of candidates on stage. She got to talk a lot more than in the past debates and used that time very, very well. She started strong, outshining her competitors with her answer on how to convince the public that the impeachment was the right move. Time and time again, in answer after answer, Klobuchar drove home her basic message: I'm from the Midwest, I'm a woman, I get things done. And she effectively took it to South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg over his dismissiveness of service in the Senate. An excellent debate performance when Klobuchar really needed one. Yes, she does need one. She's polling about the same level as Andrew Yang and sometimes even worse. So the question is, can she still qualify for the next debate? But after this performance, I think she probably still has a good chance. Joe Biden, I'm not sure whether it was the smaller number of candidates on stage or a renewed confidence in his status as the forerunner in the race, but what I'm sure is from beginning to end, this was the former Vice President's best debate by a lot. His answer on the need to build consensus and work with Republicans, noting that he, more than anyone else on the stage, had reason not to like Republicans who have spent attacking him and his son Biden for months, was his best answer in any debate. Biden's response to questions about his age, he said age brought him much needed experiences and wisdom, was self-assured and solid. Biden was simply more confident and competitive. Thursday night, just look at how he directly took on Senator Bernie Sanders on Medicare for All than he has done in the previous debate. Andrew Yang. There were 6 politicians on stage in Los Angeles and on Thursday night, and one Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang's answers on any question he was asked were miles away from how his rivals answered them. Hell, he talked about thorium. I would say heaven. He talked about thorium. His answer on being the lone non-white candidate on the stage, he called it an honor and a disappointment, was eloquent. I thought that was really, really good too. And he mentioned he missed Kamala and Corey, and Corey will be back. I think Andrew Yang is really good at making friends while on the debate stage. He made friends with, Tom Steyer. He spent this precious time to praise Tom Steyer for doing the right thing as a billionaire. And, he also won respect from Tulsi Gabbard, saying, my friend Andrew Yang, his UBI is a good idea. And even Elizabeth Warren said, oh no, I need data. And Andrew Yang said, I have data. I have. And in fact, Warren has already started reading his book. So, and we also see that in my other video that a lot of people, like, Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg, or even Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren, they started to steal Andrew Yang's lines, using Andrew Yang's lines. That's also a good sign. Okay, so here, he spoke from personal experience about how best to address challenges and opportunities of raising a special needs child. One of Yang's sons has autism. And when talking about whether politics needed more women, Yang said this: the fact is, if you get too many men alone and leave us alone for a while, we kind of become morons. Amen, Andrew. That was really, really nice. That's amazing. Okay, Male Pete. Okay, so he thinks, Chris thinks Male Pete is a winner. He came under more fire Thursday night than in all the previous debates combined, which made for a more bumpy ride for him, but also in all the evidence you need to understand that his rivals view Buttigieg as someone who needs to be slowed in the race. Senator Elizabeth Warren went after Pete Buttigieg for holding private fundraisers with rich people, and the tech she had been previewing for weeks on the campaign trail. And Buttigieg was ready. This is the problem with passing purity tests that you yourself cannot pass. He told Warren, noting that she had transferred money from her Senate account that had been raised by large donors. Not a perfect performance by any means, but Buttigieg showed in this debate he could take incoming and dish it out too. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Warren, couldn't pass the purity test. I mean, both of you failed. Both of you, corruptions. Big donors. See, that's that's the reality. I mean, voters are not dumb. I mean, they could be fooled for a small period of time, but they will realize what reality is. Right? Losers, Bernie Sanders. So, yeah, that's surprising to me. My issue with the Vermont senator in this debate is that no matter what question he was asked, he seemed to give the same answer. Millionaires and billionaires are destroying the country. Which, if you support Sanders, is pretty good for you. Yeah, I have the sense, depending on your standpoint, if you support Bernie Sanders, then okay, everything he said is good, right? If you support, Elizabeth Warren, then you would think, oh, Warren had won the debates. But here, I'm trying to, although I'm in spirit, I'm supporting Andrew Yang, but I try to kind of be impartial, right? So that's why I read these opinions articles to you, and share with you my comments, right? So that kind of give you more perspectives, so to speak. Also, his attempt at a joke in response to Barack Obama's assessment that the country needed younger and more diverse leaders, and I'm white too, fell very flat. Also, he got shut down by one of the debate moderators for trying to pivot from a question about race to talk about the climate crisis. Yeah, I had that same impression too. Like, he was insisting on talking about climate crisis when he was asked about race, right after Andrew Yang probably. But overall, I think Bernie still had a solid performance, and he got the most speaking time, I think. We can take a quick look at the speaking time, for example. That would also give us some indications. Like Bernie Sanders, 20 minutes, 2 seconds, and Amy Klobuchar slightly less, and then followed by Elizabeth Warren, almost the same. Male Pete, almost the same. And Joe Biden is 5th place, like 15 minutes, 29 seconds. Tom Steyer, 11:43, and Andrew Yang, the least speaking time, again 10:45. But every time he spoke, he landed. He really made these memorable lines. He just demonstrated this sense of humor, and he even made people believe that convince people, a lot of people that he's the winner. And by the way, this polling has just come out. The Amazon poll showing Yang is actually at 6%. As now it's just 2% below Mayor Pete Buttigieg. This is a national poll. It was conducted December 15th to 17th, and we can also see that who gained the most Twitter followers, right? So it's Andrew Yang was the first in the first place. That's almost two times, even more, of Amy Klobuchar, and it's way more than any other candidates. Mayor Pete is the least, and if you look at the percentage, that would be even more impressive because it's the percentage that matters, right? Andrew Yang has gained 0.44%, Amy Klobuchar 0.24%, Tom Steyer 0.23%, and all others are 0.03 or below. So just non-factors. So yeah, so that's the Twitter followers, and let's go back and finish Chris' article. Yeah, he said, Mel Pete is a loser as well. So yeah, mostly because I was so divided about his performance. I think in the end, the good outweighed the bad, but not by a ton. Buttigieg at times came across as overly rehearsed, a consistent problem for him in those debates. He seemed annoyed at attacks from Klobuchar on his limited experience as mayor and his past failure to win races he ran in. Given how much incoming Buttigieg took, his campaign would be happy he survived unscathed. But he did take some hits for the first time. I think Mayor Pete's supporting rate will actually decline probably after this, just like Kamala Harris. Okay, so the first hour of debate. This is a debate, which means that the goal is to examine where the candidates differ and why. The first 60 minutes of the debate featured not a single actual elucidation of where the candidates had real policy differences. Instead, they simply delivered a series of shortish policy speeches, well rehearsed from their time on the stump. It was decidedly meh, and more importantly, don't shine a single bit of light for voters on how, where, and why the candidates choose different solutions to some of the major issues facing the country. Yes, I agree. Debates are supposed to let you find out the differences in policies, right? What they have to offer the country and the people, right? So people can, make their informed decisions. Yeah. So as you can see that here they considered, Andrew Yang be a winner. And last but not least, let's see this one. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. This is from this is
strategist. Thank you so much for joining us. So I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
Fewer people on stage. I personally liked it so much better because we could hear a little bit more from the candidates, and I thought we got to see different aspects of their personality that we never got to see before. Who do you think made the most out of having that extra time on stage?
Oh, I think the front runner, Joe Biden, demonstrated why he is the front runner and why he continues to get better as time goes on. I also thought Andrew Yang had a hell of a night. Believe it or not, he's very charismatic and he's very funny, but he made some very valid points. And I think that when you think about what's important to everyday people, he connected the dots tremendously. I think as this race starts to be more defined, people are looking for how can they transition to a better quality of life. They're looking for maturity and stability from whoever our nominee will be. And I think Biden demonstrated that last night more so than anyone else on the stage.
You know what I thought about Yang is like part of his style is to give you a point and then give you the data to back it up. And that doesn't lend itself when you have like 10 seconds, but because he had more time, he could really like sort of hit you with the facts,
And credit to the moderators. This was a different style of debate, and so that brought forth different types of questions. And I think that was a point that flushed out some answers from candidates otherwise we have not heard before. And I credit PBS and Politico for having some tremendous moderators and some great questions.
A number of issues.
Yeah, so I think this debate is better in the sense that each candidate actually has, a little more time to elaborate on their points. And so I think as time goes by, we have less and less people on the stage, right? And Andrew Yang would be able to perform better and better because he can do, excellent jobs when you give him enough time. But even within the limited amount of time, he still delivered the key information, and he was really very well spoken, and his policies are all backed by numbers and facts. So I think a lot of people will just wake up to the fact that Andrew Yang actually is the science and numbers guy, and he is the one who has the best chance to defeat Donald Trump. All right, thank you for your attention, and please like and subscribe and comment below.